Hey, in this episode, I sit down again with Brandon, and this time we take the messaging that we've developed for him in the last Breaking a Million live episode. If you haven't seen that, make sure to check that out on my channel as well. We'll do our best to put a link somewhere around here to that episode. Now, in this episode, we're going to create a pre-sale page. I feel like pre-sale pages are slept on by so many Shopify store owners that I see coming into the Breaking a Million Live Collective, which is my free group for Shopify store owners. Link in the description to go ahead and apply. But I feel like so many of the people miss that. Like, no, most people drive from the ad straight to the product page, and they miss the traffic that can be pre-qualified before it hits the product page. Think of it this way: if 10 people are coming to your website and all 10 land on the product page, but 8 of them bounce because and they leave without doing anything else and not even adding to cart or looking anywhere on the site, and you have 2 of them coming, like actually adding to cart, which is probably more like 1 of them because typical add to cart's around 10% depending on AOV. But if you actually pre-framed a bunch of those people and had, say, maybe 70% of that traffic, so 7 out of 10 click through, so you lost 3, and they make it to the product page. Of the 7 who click through, let's just say that 30% of those people, so roughly 3 people actually add to cart. Now you've just tripled your add to cart rate with 1 page being added before that page. And that's really what's needed. And based on our messaging that we did previous to this call that I did with Brandon on Breaking a Million Live, we actually clarified what the messaging was for his vinyl subscription brand. Now, basically what we've discovered is we wanted to basically make Vinyl Moon a excuse for people to slow down, because ultimately we're selling music that's on vinyl that someone could technically go on Spotify and listen to it, but that's not really the ethos of the brand now. And so what we've done is we've said in the unaware stage that basically if you're somebody who doesn't want to be controlled by the algorithm essentially, and you want to kind of slow down and just chill and relax, like, we came up with a really awesome headline in here that we use on his pre-sale page. We come up with the 5 reasons why section. We fill that with some art. We really show off the product on this page. And then we give a huge offer at the bottom that really just brings it all home and explains the value of saving almost up to $200 on your first order, so that every single person who comes from meta ads is going to see this page and then go to the product page. It's going to be amazing. Let's go ahead and check it out. Oh, and make sure to get the Breaking a Million live to be on the show. Make sure to hit the link down below, apply to be in the free group. Even if you're not live on the show, you're going to get a ton of value. You're going to get all my free downloads that I've used to manage over 500 million in paid, driving over $1 billion in revenue for Shopify brands. And you're also going to be part of one of the 100 brands that I'm going to help break $1 million a year by the year 2027. It's our mission to be able to do that. We want to help these Shopify store owners do that alongside me doing it for a store that I've recently acquired and is doing about 300K to 400K a year right now. And I'm going to show you exactly how I'm doing that. You'll see that in a lot of my content for the subscription brand that I acquired from a past client that I'm doing that with. So I'm not just here selling you anything. I'm literally building alongside you and helping you along the way, sharing what I've learned in the past decade as well as what I'm learning now, so you can apply that to your store, because I believe that we are not meant to work alone, and it sucks trying to do this thing alone. So let's go ahead and get into the episode, because I can sit here and talk with you all day. All right, peace. Cool. Well, let's hop into it, man. So what we've done since we last chatted is first session, we kind of did the messaging. So that's always first, is we have to have that narrative really dialed. Like, there's no way you can just build pages and do stuff. It's like without having that clear focus on the message. What we discovered on the last call in the messaging was really that we want to use Vinyl Moon, or that Vinyl Moon serves the purpose of helping people slow down. Like, and that's something we got to ultimately by the creative process. And I'm going to show this because I think people watching, like, they a lot of times see the end result of something. And if you're not in the creative space, you don't really know this, but like the end result is the work of like chiseling the sculpture and getting it all out and going, okay, that's what we did. And it's like, to say like we spent an hour, which we just recorded that hour of us going through and finally getting to this is beautiful to see, because we've chiseled away everything that doesn't need to be there. So
yeah,
and that's the work. It's like If you can get it to this succinct, then that's what you want. And then from that, what I've done is I created a Vinyl Moon GPT and I linked it right here, VM GPT. And that GPT, have you created a vinyl or a GPT before at all?
No, I've used ChatGPT, but I've never
Okay.
created like a GPT.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for anybody watching, how that works is we go to GPTs here, we then hit explore, and then we go to create. And basically, what I've done is I've taken this and I said, hey, using the Eugene Schwartz levels of awareness, these are our levels of awareness. It has all of this information, and then I also fed it. I also I'll show you how we built this one out. So up here, I'll hit edit. I also use GPT to make a GPT. Basically, I say, give me, this is essentially its brain. And so
Mm,
we can tweak this over time, but I tell it what we're going to want from it. I tell it what we're going to use. I say whenever we upload, we could upload photos of things and you can give us stuff back. And then I also say, don't use hyphens. Always ask me if there's any context I'd like to give when I click a conversation starter, which I'll show you what that is. And then refer to the knowledge base, which contains the file and all of that. And then these are the conversation starters, which then feed this. So if I say, hey, we want ad copy, we just click that. And then it's going to say, all right, give me some context. And we're like, it's for this. And same with email copy and so on. And so that's what we're going to use. That's what I used to write this copy that we have here. And so this was a long conversation I basically had, or I said landing page copy. Absolutely. Before I craft your message in the full vinyl style, what is it for? I said, can you give me 5 reasons why copy I can use for people coming cold from an ad to learn more about Vinyl Moon, go from unaware and ready to buy. Then it gave me the 5 reasons why here, which at least gives us a starter.
yeah.
And then that's where I'm pulling that into this. And I noticed, I'll put this in here for us, and then we'll build out the page here, at least to have this as placeholder for us to start, and then you can finesse it inside of Replo. And the reason I haven't even started anything in Replo is because I just want it to look like, I want you all to see we can build this in 10 minutes, but the work takes place with building that narrative and getting that dialed, and then we can leverage Chat GPT to do it. And that just, I use Chat GPT as like a 0 to 80, and then I'm going to put the last 20% of finesse. I'm going to go in and make it actually sound like us and do all of that. And so in here, what I did is I said, I want ad scripts as well. I just wanted to see what it would come back with. And then it's just like, it came back with something that's pretty decent that I'm like, if we did a voiceover type of clip where it's just a more of like a lo-fi chill beat, or like a Vinyl Moon, like slow track, and it shows someone sitting there and we call it like slowing down as the series. And I go, hey, you know that moment when you feel like music finds you at the right time, and I'm just like talking and drinking some coffee, like this could be like one of those videos. But ultimately I was like, hey, I need intro copy because we're going to build a pre-sale page. So the pre-sale page is going to look like this when we're done. It has an intro, it has kind of who it's by, and then a summary. And then it has the reasons why as we go down. And then ultimately it has get your offer here and click in to go. And I want to visually show the offer, very similar to like what a pop-up would do in email. And then when they hit this goes to product page. And so in order to get this copy, I just fed it as well with, I said, I want in, can you give me intro copy that pulls the visitor in to read more based on that? Didn't do it the way I like it. And I said, I need a listicle sub or title and subtext. So then I was like, that feels better. But then I
Hmm.
was like, I want it to be more like BuzzFeed. And I
Yeah.
think like that's, I said, literally, I said, make it more like a BuzzFeed title. Then 5 reasons slowing down with Vinyl Moon feels better than anything your algorithm recommends was like, bam, like that's
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
in the
Yep.
vein. And then I was like, stop being so thirsty. Like we were saying like Vinyl Moon and we're like in the first sentence. So like
Yeah.
I was like, let's do 5 reasons slowing down with vinyl feels better than anything in your algorithm. It's like that's it. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I just show this to say like I love using ChatGPT to get like to a place fast based on something that is actually us, and then making it more us as we go through it. So you can go through this copy in Replo once we have it there, and then
Yeah.
make it more us. And then we would just need the CTA, which is essentially just this here. It would be this text, and then we'll build out this page. And I'll show you literally how fast it's going to be.
Boom. Yeah, so it's basically this and join today, and then first I would say I want to take this and just have it write a great headline based on this. Headline and subtext. So I want to like take this, and then the CTA in the bottom, I want this to have something that we can use that's like a nice call to action that feels like us. Discover music and art the world has not shown you yet. Oh, like that's interesting. People who want music to feel human again. Huh. I think this one is interesting for subtext. And then I would just use probably this. Yeah, so I'll use this as like the main text, and then this can be subtext. And then let me just wrap that, and cool. So this will work for now. And to build this page out, you go into Replo. Replo's like $99 or $129 a month. I've used them all, Pagefly, GemPages. There's a bunch of them, and I found that this one's the best because of the templates they have pre-built and the ability to inject code for promo codes, and specifically for subscription brands, your ability, it integrates so tightly with Recharge. I don't know any others that do. And I know we probably all have different feelings about Recharge. Like everyone has, different feelings about them, but ultimately it integrates really tightly. And I think if you're looking for that like ability to be able to integrate selling plans really well, it's gonna do good for that. And I think they also integrate with Skio and Loop as well, pretty tightly. So we'll go ahead and do a new page. When you do a new page, we're gonna go with a listicle, I think is the one. And there's a couple templates you can use. I like using this one right here because it's the Javi one. It's very fast, so now it's already built. And we're just gonna start by just doing this, and I'll make the URL so we can see. And I'm going to quickly just show you kind of what we're ultimately going to do with this page and what its purpose is that it serves. So I named this like live stream we're doing, basically us building a pre-sale page so that it can sell just like the founder would their product. And I feel like that's ultimately what pre-sale pages do, is it communicates the value, the why, the story, the narrative before they even see products and pricing. And that's what I feel most people miss, is they go from ad that probably didn't do a great job explaining what it is straight to a product page that now has a price that's higher than what I'd want to pay, which is free for if I don't know what the value is. And so then people bounce and they leave. And so we try other ads and then we just keep doing that versus saying like, let's actually build this in steps. And ultimately the place we'd want to get is each persona has an ad or has a narrative. We show that in the ad from the hook to them clicking, and then a pre-sale page that speaks directly to how they would want to see the product or what problems it solves in their life, then to the regular product page. So that's kind of how we'll ultimately want to get to it. But for now, we're just kind of using all traffic coming from Meta. We're going to test it, go into pre-sale page. And then at the end of this, I'll show how we set up the test in Meta to run one to the pre-sale page and one to the PDP with the same creative, with the same copy, same targeting as broad, and seeing which one has better conversion rates. And typically where I see it improve is we have about 50% of people to 70% of people will click through the pre-sale page to the product page. And then we'll see checkout conversions usually go like 2x higher, like 1.5 to 2x higher, because by the time they add to cart, they're sold. They're not like adding to cart looking for pricing, or maybe they're going to go now do research. They're like, I understand why I want this. And that's where I typically see the jump. I've seen it in my own brand there as well. So that's ultimately what this page is for. So I'm going to hit this little gear. We're going to just do, usually what I'll do is just put PS so I can then search when I'm looking at my data and say PS, and I know that's all my pre-sales. 5 reasons why. And I'm calling this one slowing down. So then we'll do slowing down, and we'll just do this 5 reasons why. And I'm going to not have that one show in SEO right now And so now when I hit publish, we'll see if it lets me. Okay, so this is where you pay for it. I don't think you need to do annual. It's going to be the monthly plan. There's the price. If I choose monthly, I don't have the ability to do this. So what I'll do is, Brandon, I'll share this with you in the chat. Or do you know how to get into here, just so I don't put it in the chat and everybody's like going to your Replo?
Yeah, I should. I think I can. I'm in pages. Final Moon's workspace pages. Refresh 5 reasons why. I'm in.
Okay, cool. And then if you just hit publish, it's just going to publish the URL. So then we can see it publicly. And then that way, as I'm editing it, we can just look at that.
Yeah. And should I mean, well, the basic plan enough?
Yep.
For that, right? 99
yeah.
a month? Okay.
Basic plan, and you don't have to go annual. And so I'm just quickly going to build this out for us. And I'll show exactly, this will take like probably 5 minutes for me to get this going. So I like left justifying it. I feel like that looks much better. And then we'll go in here and basically update this based on everything we have. So we'll just do this.
Great. It's paid for now. So
cool. Perfect. 5 reasons why I would do this. There's a way to transform text, and for some reason I don't see it right now. I feel like you could usually do it where it goes like sentence case, but anyways, I can update that where I want like the first letter to be capitalized of these. It just looks nicer. Slowing down with vinyl feels better than anything your algorithm. I love that saying.
Yeah.
It's just, it would like nailed what that's what I was saying. Like if we get that message piece right, then AI just does a great job at like, oh, that is a great idea.
Yeah, exactly. Like all of our like kind of brain banging about the text and massaging it, like they kind of nailed exactly what we're trying to say. And to that point, that I really like this idea of like, let's sell people on the medium first, and then and then the solution that medium provides, the medium being vinyl. And in this case, it's like, hey, Vinyl Moon is just one of the unique versions of this medium, but like, hey, go to the record store, join a different club. There's different kinds of record clubs. You go crate digging, subscribe to Vinyl Moon. Like, these are all solutions to the same thing. Yeah,
absolutely. And so what I'll typically do is I won't do that on this call, but I'll add it in. This last updated date, I use ChatGPT to write the code for that, and then we'll put in custom code for that section by going here, code, custom code, and we'll put in that custom code, and then we'll put in an image as well. So that way, basically, I go to config, launch this, and it will be a custom code where it's always today's date in that font. And so then it actually feels much more relevant to today. And then do you want you to write this, or do you want your name to be the one to write it, or you just want to do last updated and no?
Yeah, let's do. I mean, I don't know. Let's do my name for now. That's fine.
Okay. We'll put you, and and I'll basically build this out. It's real simple. You just do that. The way that this works is if you do fill available, or you do fixed width, and then I'm going to go with, say, 150. Let's see, fixed. Oh no, it's for some reason it's acting odd, but basically usually you'll be able to adjust this, and it usually does it on pixels, but I won't spend time just going through all of that right now. We'll put your photo in, it will look very similar to this, and I can build it off the call. And then this is the summary. And so that's where I'll take this and just feed it in and say, can you summarize this into a paragraph? That's a little bit more simple and more concise. There, I think that's much better. Ultimately here, I will bold out some pieces. And join. something like that. And I may break up that last one. So it feels like that. And then we'll put in the padding. We'll remove that. And then I'll just go through and I'll update. And so it pulls images from your Shopify store. So we can pull in a bunch of the images that are already there, which is great. It has like everything in there. And do you have any GIFs? Yeah, I feel like we had a bunch in the past. Like that would be
lots of GIFs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the money shots. So scaled down, I forget how I end up doing it, where it contain and bound. Yeah, it's there's a way to do it, and I don't think this video is more about that, but basically we'll make these squares, and I'll go back here so that it can show it full screen, and we'll basically just go through one by one like that. We'll do this, double click, and Command Shift V is what you want to press in here. Otherwise it does like this weird formatting thing. And so you have one, and then I'm always looking at mobile. So what I'll do is, this gets jumbled up sometimes, but you can make sure that this can get treated differently. If I wanted this text to be smaller, it'll stay big here. You want to first edit the desktop to where you're like, it's good to go. And then you go into mobile and optimize that one. And what I like to do is add buttons on every other one. So I'll do button, 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 and then we'll put in this final offer here. And for the, I'll basically go through this, put in all this copy. And then for the offer stack, this is the important piece where I usually remove this button. It feels kind of redundant to me. You can turn off things on the left. This feels cheap with this like cutout thing on the outside. So I'll go down here and I'll remove the dash on the outside there. And I'll make this a little bit more in our brand. So I'll go to this, and then I'll go to the home page and just kind of get a feel of the vibe of everything, and be like, all right, what is, the yellows need to be there. That's the button color. And like, okay, I got the feel of it, lots of GIFs and stuff. So I'll update this, make sure the button's square, which obviously all of that can be controlled here in the radius. And then making sure that background is yellow, which it comes with your color styles. I think these are already yours, right?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
So I'll basically build this out to be on brand for us. I noticed it's not showing the header. I'm not sure why. Typically it will. The way you control that is like, it's weird it's showing here, but not on this one. Let me see if it lets me see it here. So I'm going to publish this page, and then we'll see if it shows up. And by hitting this, okay, sweet. So what I typically do is I remove that header by going to Shopify theme, hide header and footer, save, and then I will do an image. This is an important piece. So I put an image there. I'll simply hit this, and then I'll put that as the logo. And then I'll put that to the left. You got to have it in there. And then I'll just add a little bit of padding under it. And then I'll probably go smaller with this, especially on mobile. But I'll go smaller with this so that way. And how we do that is height or width here. You can just bring down. And that way it feels good there. And then on this one, I may go smaller. And then I'll essentially go through these and update all those. And we'll put buttons. I'll take this button, and this button I'll show how to do this. So you hit interactions. And then when they click, do you want them to go to, where do we want them to go? Product page is that this one?
That's the prepaid. Yeah. So that is the product page.
Okay.
For prepaid. Perfect.
So, and I need the selling plan in there, right? In the URL?
No.
Okay.
You don't need it. Yeah.
Okay. So that's essentially where we'll take them. And what's really cool, why I like Replo more than other tools, is you can take, on click, you can say, hey, I want this to redirect to this page. Yeah. And if I wanted to, I want to apply discount code of whatever. before, as long as you put like, if you want code Brandon, it just can't be after. You just have to have it before. And this is how I build out even my buy box, where, as you know, discounts can be tricky. So like I want to apply a certain code when they hit this button and do this thing, and it's only on this page. Like maybe we want FB20 just coming from this, and it's a specific offer we only want people to get if they came through our ads. That works beautifully for that. So like we were talking about earlier with our offer of this here, the free shipping for life and the $200 value and the gift pack, like if we want one of those to be triggered off of a code, we can do that. Or what a cool way to use this is I use an app called EG Auto Add to Cart, and so it can automatically add items to cart. Like for me, I do a free bonus box, and I can say only if they came through this pre-sale page. So that way I'm not giving that out to everybody on email and everywhere else. So the image I just want to put visually, I want to show, I'm going to mock something up that will say free shipping for life and $200 value, and then the welcome gift pack. What is in that gift pack again? It is
it is a slip mat and some records. So for the annual, it's 1 slip mat, 2 VM mixtapes, 2 VM alumni records,
and then plus free shipping for life.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's visually, I would show those things in that, and I can get it from the website, and I'll mock up a visual of like kind of everything they're going to get. And that's essentially what will live here.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And then this will all be on brand for us. And so that's really it. Is then I'll hit publish page. What I like to do is I use an app called Active Mobile View. So let me refresh so I can see that logo pop up. I will likely get this to 3 lines. Typically, I want them to see this on when they land there. They can see like this and the button and all of this and go like, oh, that's interesting. And I've tested that as well, where if it's not high enough, it does decrease click through, because we want 50 to 70% of people to click through this. And so then I use this app to kind of look at this and go, that's way too much. So then what I'll do is typically I'll go in here, and now I'm just editing the mobile view. I'll go back to design. I bring this down and do that. And then I'll probably take this to 20, maybe 30. And I just get real nerdy about this. I'll go like 10, say we'll do like 5, and then I'll bring this down even more. I just want this to feel right. And then this is like 35. So really bring that up. We'll republish that. Same with this one. This one can go up like to 35, and then I'll refresh, and we'll just get a better view of like, all right, that's looking much better. This would probably go a little bit bigger with the text, but like I'll just finesse that until it feels right. I'll make this text smaller too. And that's really it. Is like I'll just go, once we get it all dialed in, I'll go no smaller than 14, but more like that, and then remove that space on the bottom, because I don't think that needs to be there. And then this one just a little bit bigger, and that's essentially like how we'll kind of like do the design. And I just do that all the way down the page, because once that's good, like that takes care of a lot of the pieces in the funnel. So
I think we could even maybe take out the word recommends, because that's such a long word, and it almost feels like maybe that one's implied. Feels better than anything feels better than your algorithm in 2025. Drop.
Oh yeah. Recommends. Yeah. I love that. Feels better than your algorithm in 2025. And I love it because it's not like beating up Spotify, because I think there's a lot of good things about Spotify, and it's just like, I think in the past I would go for that angle and be like, this better than Spotify, but it's like, that feels right. And then obviously we'll go just a little bit bigger with this. And like,
I'm glad you pushed for the positive spin over the negative spin, because it's definitely easy for me to go negative about.
Yeah, man, I get it. It's like, because there's I think ultimately some marketers too would be like, no, you should, negativity sells and this is that. Like, it's like, and I'll get this to 3 lines, but ultimately that's what it would be like. I just think it's it's just like our only goal is for them to go, huh, I never thought about this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I actually do want to slow down. And they would have already seen the ad that would have already put in the idea of like, yeah, like slowing down is needed as
Yeah.
necessary. And like, I
Yeah.
guess I haven't in a minute here.
Yeah.
And so essentially what we'll do is it'll be like that. And then we'll have clarity, Microsoft Clarity on this. And we'll be able to see what people are doing. And that's where we kind of use that to like understand why people don't go to the next page and so on. So I double click here. I just simply paste and there we go. And then I'll do 3 different CTAs all the way down. So this first one will be like whatever it is that relates to our brand. The next thing will be a little bit different. So there's like these subtle CTAs all the way down that feel on brand, but aren't selling it in a weird way. And then I'll use these to kind of maybe talk about the genres potentially. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'll put the buttons in and update the images, and then I'll let it know, and you can go in and swap anything out that you want to.
Yeah.
That sound good?
That's great.
Sweet.
Love it.
Awesome, man. So then let me just show really quick because I think it's helpful to how to test this. And to caveat this, I've done it in VWO. I've done it in Google Optimize. I've done this in IntelliGems, which is like the gold standard of A/B testing, with like UTMs triggering the test. I found that the quickest way, and Repl even has a built-in split test feature, but I found that the quickest way is simply just to go into your Meta Ads account, and I'm going to set it up in my own as just like an example, but you can just create a campaign that is, let's go in here. Let's say it's sales. I don't have a pixel set up on here. So for example, I usually do CRO underscore, let's say, we'll just do landing page tests, and at the ad set level is where you're going to put the test. So I'll do CRO underscore, and CRO stands for conversion rate optimization. I'll put in there, let's do pre-sale page. So I'll know that's going to be the pre-sale. Let's say that the ad are more of your ads static or video?
I think static.
Okay, so we'll do static. Here's how I name it. This isn't a video dedicated to this, but it's like static or video, ad name to describe the ad. And then we go into offer if there is one, and then pre-sale. So, and then it's either pre-sale, PDP, listicle, advertorial. So pre-sale is like a 5 reasons why. So it's a listicle. Pre-sale listicle, there could be pre-sale advertorial, or it could just be PDP, which is a product page. And then I typically do, it's just out of habit, I just put in the date. So 12/02/25, and that way I can always know like, hey, this is when we launched it. So I would set this up. It would be set up as purchase. This is just in my like personal coaching one, so I don't have any pixel in here, but I just want to show you the format. And then at the ad level, I like using a template. So you can turn on a template and basically make it pull in the ad set name. So automatically at the ad level, it just pulls that in. And in here is essentially where I'd put the 2 different links. So we would have essentially your PDP. Let's say PDP and then pre-sale. And so the 2 different ad sets would be, one would be this one for the pre-sale, and then the other would be the PDP, which is essentially this page. It would go here. So essentially you're building out 2 ad sets. One ad set goes to PDP, one goes to pre-sale. And then so let's say we publish this one. We would then dupe this one and just run the other one to, we want to discard that ad set. Yeah, so then this one would go to PDP. And that's it. And then we would just change this URL to go to the PDP. And the other one to go to the pre-sale. That's really it. And it's just changed down wherever the URL goes right here. Nice. And you don't want to optimize that. You just do that. And then you'd put the other one for the pre-sale. And then you just launch them side by side. So that way, when you're looking at the ad account, you go into CRO landing page test, you have pre-sell and you have PDP, and you can have your agency do this. And then metrics I like to look at, it's a custom metric, but you essentially can look at, you actually look at it in here. I'll look at it in this one. This one has the, let's see, DME playground. So in here. So basically this has like pre-sale click-through rate, which is essentially content view divided by outbound clicks. And that tells us people who went to the site and then click through the pre-sale page. So this one here is actually a listicle. These other ones are PDP, so that's why it's so high. But this one's 50% of people are going to the listicle after hitting the listicle and then actually going to the PDP, if that makes sense. So that's essentially how we look at it, is they have to build a custom metric in there that is content view divided by outbound clicks. And then that'll tell you like, oh yeah, people are not going through, and that's the issue. And then we'll look at checkout conversion as well, like how many purchases divided by initiated checkouts. And that's where I said, usually you'll see that be dramatically higher. And then you just start pushing because you're like, oh man, the pre-selling is actually helping. Even though only half of people are going through, 3x higher is what we're seeing on checkout conversion because they're more qualified. Checkout started to converted. So that's more on like the analytics side, but I think you'll see it at the CAC level either way. Like you'll automatically see it and be like, oh, that CAC is better because of the pre-sale.
Yeah. Nice.
Excellent. Yeah, man. So that's it. Any questions on any of this?
No, I love it. This is great. And I mean, what Replo, I'm loving Replo so far too.
Oh yeah. I've built out some wild buy boxes at this point. And so they get you. I haven't seen anything else that can do what you're able to do in here at the level you are. Like this buy box I have here, it's like this to build this, it's just it goes so deep for what you're able to do, and like how you're able to like have all these different things within it and selling plans, and this is changing this dynamically. And when you hit add to cart, it's based on the selling plan and the product, and it's an annual versus a quarterly, so it's a prepaid versus a month to month. It's like that in subscription world, like that's impossible.
Yeah. That's so huge. That's awesome.
So cool. Well, I appreciate you letting me help you out here, and I'll go ahead and finish up the page and get us going.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, awesome. All right, thanks, Brandon.
Cool. Talk soon.
Later. Bye.